Good morning, everyone, especially to our beautiful and understanding instructress, Madam Cañete. I am Chris Burl M. Chacon, one of the reporters of Group 2. This morning, I, together with my group mates, uh, Luigi Sambueno, Christine Naelga, Mikagi Foras, Luigi Sambueno, Mark Jun Sabelero, and Ninyo Ray Ligpusan will discuss about the story of Tobatic Singh by Tobatic Singh, which was written by Sadat Hazan Manto. So this story was about the life of being prison. As a prison, you feel hopeless, helpless, confused, just like having a mental problem. Tobatic simply shows to choose to stand what we believe and to face whatever consequence will be, to stand for our own belief. Kay once nga motuo ka sa imong self, kabalo ka unsay tinuod og insakto, the truth in you will set you free. Clear up more, the story is simply about the relationship between the two countries, the India and Pakistan, which described the partition idea in the year 1947. Sadat Hazan Manto used the mental asylums as features of miniatures of the words where people of different status and religion dwell and face the physiological trauma and imbalance. The main characters of this story was Bisan Singh, kay nagsimbolo siya sa kasakit o trauma, displacement to addition to him. The fellow inmate of the asylums are the partitions evacuees who suffer the mental illness but are seen to offer healthier than the outer world of political chaos of governmental conflict. On May 1912 to January 1955, Manto considers the greatest writers were of short stories in South Asia. His stories were collected 22 short stories, 1 novel, 5 series of radio play, 3 essay and 2 personal sketches. In 1947, Pakistan was already independent, and Manto of this time was never convicted. So the next slides will be discussed by next reporter. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Next reporter about the topic, Toba takes Singh by Sadat Hasan Manto. The first slide. The immediate outcome was the riots that took place in which countless people were killed. Millions were turned refugees overnight and were faced with the difficult task of dislocation. Next, the long-term impact was the sense of isolation, affrontedness, uncertainty, and deprivation that had gripped the million of people who had to flee their homes. So the first slide says that when the India and Pakistan partition took place in 1947, there were many people in millions who had to run from one country to another as refugees. That's because Muslims were rushing towards the newly built Pakistan and Hindus were rushing towards India. People became refugees and were dislocated from their original homes, leaving them uncertain and deprived. Slide 2 about the topic, Toba Singh, which describes the exchange of mental asylum inmates between India and Pakistan in the wake of partition, was perhaps Sadat Hasan Manto's most well-known short story. Manto's work was colored by his experience of mental illness, including alcohol addiction and possible depressive disorder. The second slide, Tuba Singh was by Sadat Hasan Manto, who wrote a short story that was printed in 1955. It portrays prisoners in a Lahore prison, several of whom will be moved to India after the partition of 1947. The narrative is a strong satire on India's and Pakistan's ties. This story showed the impacts of the partition on the prisoners in both countries that occurred in 1947. The story was filled with real emotions, even though it was fictional, but the place Tuba Singh is a real place in Pakistan area. That's all.
Good day everyone. I'm one of the reporter of Toba Singh by Sadat Hasan Manto. First slide, Bisan Singh reflects the sense of dislocation and uprootedness faced by all Indians. So, it reflects dislocation. Ito ay dahilan ng partition ng both parties, ang Pakistan at India, at lahat ng tao sa India ay nabunutan ng tinik ang kanilang mga mukha dahil sa pangyayaring iyon. Then, here he refuses to cross the Indian side when at the border during the exchange of inmates. He learned from a decision officer on the border with his feet on both the sides of the border. He collapsed. Something that is symbolically noticed be when Bisan collapse or no man's land between the two new nation barbed wire borders. So, Bisan Singh is an inmate. Even though he refused to go to India, it is still part of the exchange. So, as part of the exchange, Bisan Singh is sent under police escort of the border of Pakistan and India. Bisan Singh's collapse, it ends with Bisan Singh's lying down in the no man's land between two barbed wire fences. Then, Bisan represents those who were forced to leave their home and their once during the partition. The hurts and loss still remains in the heart of all those who have passed through this agony. Bisan Singh ay nagre-representa sa mga taong napilitan umalis sa kanilang mga tahanan at iwan ang mga mahal sa buhay sa panahon ng partition o pagkahati sa mga bagay. Ang mga pinagdaanan na pigati at kawalan ay manatili sa kanilang isipan dahilan sa mga pangyayaring kanilang pinagdaanan nga dili nila malimtan nga mga nagian dito sa part sa India o Pakistan.